few years ago, I found out that I had a birth defect that I had never known about. A birth defect that should have caused all kinds of problems in my life, but didn't. And when I found out why it didn't cause problems, I also learned a lesson about life that you will probably find useful, if not interesting, when you hear about it in a minute. Now, all my life I knew I had flat feet, so that was no mystery. If you don't know what flat feet is, it's feet that don't have an arch. And when I get out of, say, a pool of water and walk on concrete, it looks like slabs of meat have just hit the ground there. There's no shape to the foot, because there is no shape, no arch, it's just plopped down there. And I had known that my whole life, but it never really caused much of a problem. And I just figured, well, that's the way things go. Everything was fine up until a few years ago, maybe 3 years ago, when I found that there were times when I'd be standing like this and I would just sort of tip over to the side. So I did a mindset check. All right. I said, well, Ken, you're not drunk. So that's that, right? You don't seem to have an equilibrium problem with your ear. You know, if you walk, I can walk straight, so it's not that. But maybe it's something to do with my flat feet, and I don't know, it's just coming on as I got older. So I went to a podiatrist. His name was Dr. Alexander. I told him what the problem is. I tip over. Unexpectedly. He said, okay, let's do an x-ray of your feet and see what's going on. When I came back a week later, he said, Ken, you have a rare condition of your foot that comes from birth. I said, well, Doc, I know I have flat feet. He said, no, this condition causes flat feet, but it is extremely rare. Wow. Usually I like to be rare, you know, or I like to be special, but this didn't sound good, right? He said, you have what's called skew foot. And he showed me the x-ray, and I have it here. Okay. So this is the x-ray of my right foot. Now it looks probably like a foot to you. It's got the bones there, right? But if you'll notice, and I'll show you a normal one in a minute, so here's the ankle. The foot goes to the side and then guts back again. They call it, sometimes they call it Z-shaped foot. And a normal foot looks like that. Right? Straight up and down. I said, well, okay, doctor, well, what does it have to do with falling over to the side? He says, this kind of foot, there's no way for the bones of the bottom part of the foot to lock in with the ankle. Normal feet, they make a single unit and they hold you in position. This, because of the skew shape, gives lateral freedom of motion and you fall over. Okay, Doc, that's very interesting, but how come this was never a problem during my life? He said, well, when you're young, you have good muscle strength in your legs and you can compensate. But more importantly, he said, because you're an athlete and you're very active, you're always moving, you had balance that comes from movement. I said, what is that, doctor? He said, it's like riding a bicycle, right? When the bicycle's moving, it goes forward, you don't fall off. But as soon as you stop the bicycle, you fall to the side. I said, well, why am I falling to the side now, doctor? He says, well, as you've gotten older, the muscles aren't strong enough to keep you steady. But if you keep moving forward, you'll have no problem. Just keep riding that bike. And that's when I realized, wow, that's a lesson of life, right? If you have goals, and you keep aiming at those goals, which you complain about, but you keep having those goals and keep moving forward, you don't fall over. You don't fall off. And I went, wow, here's something profound there. In life, set goals, keep moving ahead, and even if you have a congenital defect, a birth defect, you can compensate by constantly moving forward. But as soon as you stop, mind you, as soon as you stop and relax, and say, why I have all these goals, you fall over every which way. And that's the lesson. So remember, if you're questioning why do you have so much work to do, why do you have these projects, why you're always aiming at goals, maybe it's to keep you in balance. And by having goals, you stay in balance, you don't lose your way, and you can compensate for skew foot or some other birth defect that you might have.
Don't stop moving.
Don't stop, keep moving.
If you stop, I'm gonna come over.
If you see me on the floor, though.
Step over you. Step over you.
This all the time, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Ken. Our next speaker, Tim,